Good evening to all of you. To my friends, Honorable Daniel, our Parliament Rep, Honorable Douglas, Honorable Dr. McIntyre, uh, the executive and the members of the Fishermen's Group. I'm happy to be here this evening. And I have taken note of all of the 7 points raised by George. He spoke about 1, filling station, and I think 5 people will work there. The committee will be responsible for it. 2, a landing site, or landing facility, sorry, the jetty, so that you can get your fuel and supplies without having to be in the water and trying to load the boat at the same time and so forth. 3, additional locker rooms, because you got a first set, because ladies are interested in the trade, and so you need more locker rooms to facilitate the entry of more members to the committee and the trade in Dublanc. 5, there's a fair trade, a building belonging to fair trade, and you would like this building for your office and your meeting place, and you are requesting of the government to acquire the building and hand it over to the committee for management and control. 6, you would like to design a 20-foot container into a storage facility / an ice making facility. And 7, you raise the concern about access to funds at the aid bank and the difficulty with which fishermen in particular are having in accessing those funds. So I have listened to you, and I believe I have taken the notes correctly and accurately of the 7 concerns and recommendations and suggestions that you have made. The filling station, as a matter of fact, this morning I spoke to Petro-Caribbean. They're going to tender as early as this week for the filling station in Dublanc. So we expect in the next couple of weeks or so that tender would be completed and a contract will be awarded for the construction of the filling station. The funds are available. It's a matter to go through the procurement process, and this morning they mentioned to me that they're going to the tender process. The points that you've raised, my friends, are things that we can achieve if we work together. Because we in the government recognize the importance of fishing to Dublanc. That is your way of life. That's your means of survival. If you're not successful at it, then many families here and outside of Dublanc will experience difficulties. What I want us to do is for us to enter into some kind of memorandum of understanding that these are the points we're going to be working on together to implement for and on behalf of the fishermen and the residents of Dublanc. Because I do not want us to shift the goalposts. You understand? So when we do that, they say, well, can we get this and so on? So this is this. There are some things that can happen almost immediately. There are some things that will require a little more planning, so it will be more in the medium term, and there are some things that will be more in the longer term. Not necessarily long term, but the longer term. I want to use that word he said. You understand? Because I don't want the long term to mean for, very far away. The government intends on building a major sea defense wall in Dublanc. And I have said to the Parliament that I want this wall to commence this year, because we have a challenge in Dublanc with the sea surge. And I have come to accept, notwithstanding my urging, I have come to accept that there are many of us here in Dublanc will not want to leave Dublanc to go on any mountain top to live or away from the sea. I tried my best to persuade my friend Desmond, and if Desmond was here in thing, the first person who would have been here to encourage all of us would be Desmond. We're always positive with utterances and so forth. I've never heard Desmond to be negative. He has his opinions, he expressed them, but always respectful and always positive in what we need to do. And so I really miss him here this evening. But I came to the conclusion that we cannot get the people from Dublanc away from the sea. When I went to Desmond's mother's home after the sea had affected the home, and I sat with her in a house upstairs, and I said, Granny, let us take you out from there. We'll do something for you and so forth. She said, no. Once you call about me, blah. You know, and she said in Curl, that's where I raised up my mother was born there. The fish come right there. I get my fish, I cook my broth, and I okay. But I suspect one of the main reasons why she really wanted to be by the sea was to see when Desmond going out and to wait for Desmond to come back. So she'll be the first person to see him coming back and so forth. You know, but we'll be constructing this city fence. What we need to do for the jetty, we need to get an estimate for the jetty. So let us get the engineers to come in. There'll be some studies that'll be done, so we can get that jetty. Because really, you have the estimate, but you see, George is a big man there. You see? Okay. So we'll have to put it with the review this and put it with the when you're constructing the city fence wall, so we can put this jetty right away and have a complete job and so forth. The boats, you have estimates for the boats, the invoice for the boats, the 2 boats. We'll get that for the 2 outboard motors, pass it on to the power rep, and right after the budget is passed, we'll give you the money. Okay, so we'll give the committee the money and you'll acquire those boats. There'll be some understanding of how these boats, so you need to let us know how are you going to be managing those boats to the benefit of the membership. Okay? To the benefit of the membership. So if it's a decision that you have taken among yourselves, that is the approach that you are taking. You need to write to the power rep, write to myself to indicate that we met and we took a decision as a body. That's how we're going to do things. We'll buy 2 boats, and the boats will belong to us, and we'll have a schedule. 2 days of the week is this team, 2 days is that team, 2 days is this team. However you intend to manage it, let us, you will have to determine that. We're not going to get involved. We are here to support you in what you're doing to create a better way of life for yourself. Okay? But the success of these initiatives will depend on yourself. And it's important that we have to work together. We'll all have different ideas. We'll all have different ways of how to do things. But we must not lose sight of the common objective, which is to create a better way of life for all of us. You understand? Do not lose sight of this. Okay? Because we will not get involved in how you manage it. We're here to support you with the assistance. With regards to the locker rooms, we need to get an estimate for this. You'll have that, George, there. You know, George came there fully thing. George, let me tell you something, George. So that's for the locker rooms. Okay? So this thing's going to be done immediately after the budget is passed and so on. Okay? These locker rooms and so on. Again, we will pass on the money to the committee. You will contract people in the village. I want people from the village to be contracted. You understand? And then you will build the locker rooms for yourself and so on. And we'll come back hopefully before the end of August, because we go to Parliament on 27th, and it will take us a week and a half to debate before it is passed, but immediately after it's passed. But we'll come back before the end of August to make these funds available to you. So prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves to make things happen and so forth. I cannot make a definitive commitment with regards to the Fairtrade building. We'll have to investigate the ownership because I'm not sure who really owns it. And so we'll get the Ministry of Housing and Lands to investigate and to advise me back immediately on who owns it and what is the likely cost of it and so forth, so that we can make a determination on the acquisition. But once it is available and it can benefit you, the residents and the fishermen, we'll move to acquire. So we're not opposed to acquiring. I just don't want people to leave it tonight and say, Skerrit, so you're going to buy the building tomorrow morning. So, I only make promises I know I can keep. And when I make a promise to you, it may take a little longer, but I'll keep the promise with the help of God, you know. But once it is a reasonable price, and we won't create any problems with the current owners, because I do not like to impose the government on people. You understand? Though we have the authority, we can acquire it and in 2 weeks take ownership of it, but that's not my style. I like to engage people and consult people and so forth, so at the end of the day, we do not make enemies, we're all friends, and everybody is happy in the process. So we do find the owners and speak to them directly, and let them know of the interests of the fishermen and the community, and let them know the government is interested also in acquiring this building on behalf of the people. Like you have done with the other estimates, George, you know, the container and the redesigning and so forth are into a cost into this. So I can know precisely how much it costs and how much I will come with the treasury too. Okay? So once you get that, again, you send it to your PAL rep, you should get it to me immediately. We'll sit down and we'll support it. But we'll decide. And of course we have to decide whether we go in the factory building first or we go 20-foot containers first, depending on the cost. Okay? Because one of them can stay back a little bit. You understand? It's not something that if you don't get it, you won't catch any fish. What I want to do is to give you the support that we really can get to catch more fish as soon as possible. And the 7th point which you raised is access to funds at the aid bank. I would like to know what specifically are the challenges that you're experiencing. So at the aid bank, you can get up to $15,000 without having any security. Okay? And then there are different criteria for different amounts that you require. But I would like to hear from you, because what I could do is that I could send the officials from the bank back to Dublanc to meet with you, to discuss with you some of the specific issues that you may have. Because sometimes it may be a misunderstanding between ourselves and the bank person who will be thinking, and so forth. Because some people have raised issues with me at town hall meetings, and when I go to the bank to find out, there really wasn't a problem. It was just a misunderstanding between two people, and they've been able to get the loans and move forward. So, as we're saying, we're committing to the filling stations on its way. We're committing to the locker rooms. That's a given. To the 2 fishing boats and the 2 other motors. That's a pro. We will speak to the owners of the fair trade building. If it's available, if the price is reasonable, we can move to acquire it. And the jetty and so on, we'll see how we can incorporate it into the construction of the sea defense wall once we start it. But that absolutely is a need. But I want to say to us too that we have to take, as Honorable Douglas indicated, take our trade seriously. This is our way of life. You understand? I'm not saying that we are taking it seriously, I'm speaking in general. You understand? We have to take it seriously. We have to maintain the advice given to us by the Fisheries Division and our own advice in terms of our safety. You know, you can be the best swimmer in the whole of the country, but you do not play with your safety. Because you never know, something can happen and you need that piece of safety device to save your life and to save your comrades' lives and so on. So we should not never compromise this. The boats that we have and the boats that we'll be given are for fishing and for fishing fish. Okay, for fishing fish. You know, so do not be tempted, my brothers and sisters. You understand? Fishing is hard work, it's difficult work, but do not be tempted by anybody can tell you, just bring that thing for me down there and I'll give you $100,000 and so on. Because that one time you try, that's when the coast got to pick you up. You understand? And you won't get the $100,000, and you will lose your freedom for a significant period of time. If you need help, as we engage in ourselves, we're here to help the little that we can, to help you, okay? And we're serious about helping you, okay? And you will see the manifestation of our commitments in the next weeks here in Dublanc. Because you, as I said on Sunday gone 2 weeks ago, that you are hardworking people. all the challenges, you don't sit and complain. You tie your waist and you work. Understand? And you go through all the difficulties, working hard. You're resilient people. And I think we in the government, we need to continue to be by your side and to help you where you can help yourself. Because once you can help yourself, you don't bother you first, in Josh, in Dublanc. You do what you can. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You've only come to us for serious things, where you really need the help. And that's why I always appreciate you, the residents of Dublanc. So we're here to support you fully. And I really want to commend Lady Di because she's been following me for some time on the meeting. And on Friday till Monday, whatever it is, we're going down to Dublanc so that we can meet the fishermen and keep to our promise and to hear from them and so forth. But those discussions are important. It's a discussion we're having, no speech, it's a dialogue we're having. It's important for us to speak to each other. Making noise and complaining is not going to solve the problem. You see, by engaging ourselves in that discussion, we hearing from you, you hearing from us, we're in a better position to assist you in making life better. And I'll give you the assurance, my brothers, that will help you to the fullest extent. As I said, the 6 points that you raised are achievable. Understand? Are achievable, and before the end of August, the pilot will be back here to hand over these checks to you. And I'm hoping that if the fair trade people are prepared to sell and the price is reasonable, we would even have the ceremony outside or inside the building by the end of August and so forth. So we can make some progress in that. The other thing we'll be looking at here in Dublanc is not fishing, but in terms of housing and so forth. And you will see us coming in a big way to addressing the housing situation. But we have a land issue, as you know, in Dublanc. And our efforts to build individual homes, we have to revisit that approach and look at the possibility of building apartments in Dublanc, because you just do not have the land space to build individual homes. So we're looking at the concept of apartments, and we'll come back to you before the end of the year to share with you some of the designs that we have already, and to get your understanding with it, because it's going to be a new concept in Dublanc. Some people have apprehensions about apartments and so forth, notwithstanding the fact that most people live in England in apartments and most people live in American apartments or in Guadeloupe and Martinique. But it takes us time to adapt ourselves to something that is new and so forth. But so we will be talking to you about these apartments that we'd like to construct for the residents of Dublanc to address the housing situation. Because the basements which we have really should not be for living because of the sea surge and so forth, and we're below the sea level. So you'll always have water coming in, and because of the dampness of it, in terms of the long-term health of yourself, it is not suitable for inhabiting. Those who are on top, fine, but those who are below will have a difficulty with that and so forth. So we need to address this going forward, because there are a lot of young families who have been able to build below their mother's home or their grandparents' home to provide shelter for their families and so forth. And I believe that one of the ways we can address this is regards to the apartments which we intend to construct here for you, the residents. But we're here specifically to talk about fishing and to interact with you, the fishermen. And it's always my pleasure to be here with you, and we look forward to us working together towards addressing this. And this is kind of thing I like to see, that when we come to communities, they know what they want. You understand? People tell you, well, we want help, and when you ask them what, tell me, they can't tell you. But the presentation that you made there, I'm very impressed. It tells me that you guys are serious. Because we may have ideas as to what we need to do for you in Dublanc, but the fact is, you live here. You know what life is. You know what you go through. You know the challenges which you go through. And you have ideas as to what you believe the government can do with you to make life better for you. So it's always better to hear from people, to fashion our own policies and fashion our own programs. And that's why a number of our programs, as a matter of fact, all of the programs that we have implemented in Dominica have come about based on our interaction with people. You understand? Whether it is a school transfer grant, And the whole idea behind the school transfer grant for everybody, for children who pass common and who sit the national assessment exam. Oh, the whole idea, before, back in the days, when you start secondary school, a child is studying for his first time, secondary school. But he has a used shirt, and he has a used shoe, and a used school bag, because his older brother handed on to him. And students will feel a little different when they go to school, and this one has new clothes and he has nothing. So the whole idea behind the school transfer grant was to ensure that when our children go to school, there is no differentiation to whose parents can afford and whose parents cannot afford. Everybody has a new shirt, a new pant, a new school bag, a new pair of shoes, and so on. Understand? The allowance for people 70 and over. You know, we go across the country, and people used to tell us, you know, I worked hard in the country, I built roads, I built schools, and I'm getting nothing. You know, and we had to create this program that is completely financed by the government of Dominica to ensure that everybody 70 and over can get something. So, and people can live dignified lives. They can go to the shop bravely and take some credit, knowing that for sure at the end of the month, as small as it may be, they have something that they will get and they can pay the shopkeeper. And then the list can go on and on. You see, whether it's housing, whether it's sanitation, whether it's small business, you know, whether it's free health care for people 60 and older and 18 and younger, you know. And for a small country with no natural resources outside of our people, to be able to provide free medical care for the majority of the population, people 60 and older and 18 and younger, it's an amazing thing. And I keep reminding people that it is free to those who are receiving it, but the government must find the money to pay. So in this year's budget coming up on the 27th, we're increasing the budget for the Ministry of Health by $5 million to buy medication. And the intention is that persons suffering from cancer who have to buy expensive medication, that we will now put those medications on the list to provide to you free of charge if you can't afford it. You understand? So these are the kind of policy decisions which we take. And I dare say I am not a very old person, neither am I a very young person. I always tell people like I am 86 years old. You know, these things are unprecedented. They've never happened before. You understand? They've never happened before. And Honorable Douglas mentioned something, we take simple things for granted. Simple things for granted. And I believe that I am the Prime Minister who has visited these communities more than all Prime Ministers put together. And sitting down with you and hearing your concerns, whether it is in your house or out of your home or settings like this. Because at the end of the day, we are at your service. We're here to serve. It's a difficult task, a difficult job, but nonetheless we have to do it. And we have to do it with mutual respect. We have to do it with a sense of purpose and a sense of determination. And our interest, and my personal interest, is that when I leave this public life, that we will look back and you will see many lives that we have touched in a positive way. You understand? And to ensure that people can have a better standard of living in our country. It's not easy to have because we're a small country with very limited resources. But at every turn, the Lord has been good to us. And He has provided us with friends who have been able to help us, or now with the CBI, a source of funds that are able to help us. Because when you look at what we have been able to do in respect to Erica, and this humongous challenge which Erica placed on us, and we're still able to do so many things. Not 1 month since Erica and before Erica, that we were late in paying salaries to public officers. And I believe that if we were to be late for some months, the public servants will understand because of what we have to deal with Erica and so on. You see? And We have to appreciate those things. And not one of our programs have been stopped. As a matter of fact, instead of cutting back on small business, we have been providing tremendous sums of money to small businesses. Instead of telling people, look, we can't build house for you because we have to build homes for people up in the Savannah and Dublanc and Coolibistro and so on, we continue to build homes for people, new homes for people, creating a better way of life for people. And we're able to be here to talk to you and to make certain commitments. So everything will not be done at the same time, but all I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, stay close to this group because it's difficult for the Parliament or myself to come to Dublanc and go to every single fisherman. It's not possible. You understand? But when you have groups like that, and you're working together, you understand? It is easier for the government to help you. So that when we come here, for example, we give you the check to build locker rooms, you do it yourself, and maybe some of you here are masons and builders and so forth. You see what I'm saying? So when this is slow, you can get 2 days work on the job and so forth, and the committee pays you and so on. Okay? So we're able to provide a check to you. Make sure you have bank account. Your account in the bank and so forth, and you deposit the money there, and you can implement your project and so forth. I am excited about this because I know exactly what you want. That's why I wanted to come to speak to you and not be any town meeting where you're raising issues of fishing, but because I recognize how important fishing is to you in Dublanc, and I feel that you need a special meeting just for yourselves, and that's what we're able to do. So now I am very clear, the Parliament is very clear, we in the government is very clear. We will report back to the Cabinet tomorrow so that the other ministers understand their role in delivering to you on the promises which are made. And so we're very clear that these are the 6 points, 6 issues, in addition to the 8-bank one, the 6 issues that you have raised for us in respect to what we can do together. And these things certainly are on their way, my friends. God bless you and thank you very much.